Hey, this is Ken's wife, Mandy, right? How are you? As a courtesy, I just wanted to say hi, since I've heard so much about you. Ken always goes on and on about you. Let's both do our best to make Ken happy.
Do I know you? What are you talking about?
Well, Ken has been a secret admirer of mine for some time now. And last night he finally told me how he felt. Of course, after seeing how sincere he was, I just had to say yes. He was just so lovely. I wanted us to be on an even playing field and didn't want to hide it from you. I hope you're okay with it, right? We'll be starting our relationship too.
First off, what do you mean you're starting a relationship with Kevin? He already has me. You must be mistaken. There's no way my Ken would confess to someone else. I don't know who you are, but you need to back off.
Oh, that's right. I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm sorry. You can call me Alicia. It's a pleasure. I work with Ken and he's always looking after me. He's taught me a lot of things. I hope he can teach me more now that we're dating, if you know what I mean.
Excuse me? Don't you dare put your skanky hands on him! The audacity! You have some nerve texting me trying to lure my husband away from me for an affair. He better not have laid his hands on you. Messing around with a coworker. What the hell is he thinking?
You don't have to be so rude, you know. I even went through all the trouble of letting you know. I could have kept our affair a secret from you. I'm already Ken's girlfriend. I'd like to be addressed properly at least. I'm only looking to spend time with Ken and make him happy. Don't get the wrong idea, though. I don't plan on stealing him from you.
That's a lot of lip service. If you don't plan on stealing him from me, why do you want to be in a relationship with him? Are you just messing around? Are you trying to play games?
I'm not fooling around. I'm serious about him. I plan on being a proper girlfriend. I just don't plan on being a homewrecker. I think the both of us can work this out and we can both make Ken happy. Isn't that what we both want? As they say, two are always better than one. So, why don't we both not get in each other's way and help Ken be happy?
You don't get to call the shots. You're just my husband's mistress. Why in the world would I ever listen to a thing you say?
You don't have to be so aggressive. Let's just both calm down. I'm trying to be generous here. I could have just taken Ken for myself, you know. But if I did that, then you'd be homeless. No one wants that. That's just not who I am. I'm a total pacifist. I couldn't bear to make someone unhappy because of me. Don't you think that'd be just awful?
What kind of garbage are you trying to spew? How is a pacifist going to lay their hands on someone else's husband? Do you even know what that word means? How dare you try to play the good guy here? You're just trying to avoid the truth. You're the crook stealing someone else's husband and happiness.
I do know what it means. Thank you. And isn't it the truth? Your husband is head over heels in love with me. It's almost embarrassing. If I really wanted to, then Ken would without a doubt leave you in a second. Since you're just a housewife, you'd lose your house and your livelihood. Not to mention you'll have the stain of being divorced.
Go to hell! You don't get to disrespect me like that. I take care of the house while Ken is working. I make sure everything is taken care of when he gets home. If my husband is going to have an affair, I would never forgive him. I'm not going to stay together with him, and I would never associate with someone who has no common sense. Go ahead and take him. I'd rather divorce him than share. I'm not pathetic enough to need any sympathy from someone like you.
That's rich coming from a housewife. You'll get a divorce? Then what? If you get a divorce, you won't even be a housewife anymore. What'll you do for work? Your life will be over as you know it. How are you even going to support yourself? Although I do feel a little bad. Your life is changing so much because I'm just too cute.
You're starting to get on my nerves. You know that?
Like I keep telling you, it's fine. I wouldn't want you to lose your livelihood. So let's stop all the drama and we can both get what we want. Leave work and his outside life to me. Then you can take care of everything at home, like the cooking, cleaning, and all the other annoying things. Let's get along and do our best to support him, okay?
You just won't listen to what people are saying, will you? Fine. If it's come to this, I'll just have to talk to Ken myself. Goodbye. Ken, explain yourself this instant. What is all this mess about you trying to get with one of your co-workers? What in the world are you thinking? You already have me, don't you?
Babe, calm down for a second. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't try to play dumb. I heard it from her directly. I was just texting her. She even had the gall to tell me that we didn't need a divorce and that we can work together to support you. What utter bull. There is no way I'd ever think about getting along with my husband's mistress. What the hell is going on, Ken?
Damn it, Mandy. I told her to wait. It's hard being so popular, you know? My female coworkers are constantly hounding me. You wouldn't believe it. You know, I told her not to go brazenly provoking you. We already had it all planned out. We could have kept things a secret and I would have been happy.
Are you kidding me? You're not even going to try to excuse yourself?
I'm just being honest here. I didn't want to divorce you. That sounds like such a headache. You taking care of everything at home is such a load off my back, too. I can't believe she wanted to try a poly relationship. That's just crazy. Well, she is my ideal woman. After all this time, I finally met her. No offense.
I couldn't care less about her. I don't need to hear your droning on and on. Hurry up and explain yourself. How could you cheat on me? We're married, for Christ's sake. You don't love me anymore? How could you even fall in love with another woman?
Yeah, that's right. I don't love you anymore. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. You don't make my heart skip a beat like you used to. I feel nothing for you anymore. All I ever see you doing is the housework. How is that exciting? Compared to a housewife like you, of course I'd fall in love with a woman like Mandy, who's trying her best for her career.
Do you even know how much I sacrificed for you? I never wanted any of this. I did it for you. You were the one who begged me to become a housewife after we moved into our house, you lazy slob. I worked for years building my career, and I gave it up for you because I loved you. And you just go and throw that all away like it was nothing?
Pfft. What career? You weren't even capable of saving any money with that career of yours after all that time. Even after we got married, you would never have made it very far. You could never become head of your department like me.
Don't you dare. I was good at my job.
I might have asked you to take care of the housework, but I never forced you to. You could have continued your career if it meant that much to you, but you didn't. You quit your career and became a housewife of your own volition. Don't go trying to play the victim here, Mandy. Just because things didn't turn out the way you had hoped, doesn't mean you get to change the decisions you've made. You chose what you thought would be the easiest life for you, and you know it.
You don't know anything. I gave it all up for you. I didn't make the decision lightly. I antagonized over it for weeks. And don't say you didn't force me. You were practically begging me to become a housewife. After you put on that pathetic display, how could I refuse? I'm not trying to play the victim, but I for damn sure prepared myself to give up everything for you because I loved you. You're practically spitting in my face right now. You're just trying to spin things as if it's my fault you decided to go off and have an affair. You ruined our marriage.
I didn't ruin it. I'm not even asking to get a divorce. You get to live as a housewife like you chose while I get to enjoy my life. It's a win-win situation. You still get to take care of the housework while sponging off of my hard work. What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? You're having an affair, Ken!
Like I said, I married you, so I don't plan on getting a divorce. As a man, I plan on fulfilling my promise to you. Until death do us part. Out of respect for our relationship. So you don't have to worry about your livelihood. All I'm asking in return is to let me have a little fun with my new, younger, and cuter girlfriend. In fact, you should be the one thanking me. I'm being gracious enough to be considerate about what'll happen to you from now on. If I were a lesser man, I would have divorced you already and left you out to dry. Someone in your position should be more grateful.
Get off your high horse. You're the one cheating. You're wrong and you know it. Why the hell should I be grateful my unfaithful husband is cheating on me? Do you take me for a fool?
You just can't keep your mouth shut, can you? I've been tempering myself, but even someone as gracious as I am is starting to lose my patience. I didn't want to do this, but if you keep scoffing at my kindness, I'll go ahead with the divorce. Is that what you want, you freeloader? There's no future for you after the divorce. You have zero prospects. A housewife with no skills like you is bound to live a life of destitution. That's what's waiting for you. Do you understand? Are you ready to take back what you said and accept the position you're in?
Ha! Don't make me laugh. I was doing just fine before you, and I'll be just fine after you. You better watch yourself. You'll regret ever cheating on me. I won't be going down without a fight.
Hi, Mandy. It's me again, Alicia. I'll be borrowing Ken for about a week, okay? We're going to be enjoying ourselves on our trip, so take care of the house for him, will ya?
You don't know when to stop, do you? You sure have some nerve texting me. Are you really trying to date my husband while I'm in the picture?
Of course! That's silly of you. I thought we cleared the air the last time we talked. I haven't heard from you since we last spoke. Anyone would think that you've accepted my proposal. Ask Ken's girlfriend. I wanted to let you know ahead of time so you wouldn't have to worry when Ken disappears for a few days.
I by no means have accepted this little agreement. Apparently, you didn't get that through that thick skull of yours. I'm simply biding my time and distancing myself from both Ken and you for the time being.
Come on now. Let's not pretend you're unaffected by all of this. You don't have to try so hard to put up a front. If you don't want to cooperate with me, then hurry up and get a divorce. Then I can have Ken all to myself. It's been over a month, yet you haven't even sent him any divorce papers. If you're not prepared to back up your threats, then you should just shut up and accept your fate. You don't deserve someone like Ken. It's really quite sad that you need to keep leeching off of Ken because you can't even support yourself.
Well, I'm glad we're both in agreement about one thing.
Oh, right! I got a little distracted. Actually, I have a favor to ask you. While we're away, would you mind cleaning my place as well?
What? Clean your place?
I've been really busy at work lately. I just do such good work that the requests keep coming. It's become a little too messy for my tastes. I tend to become engrossed in my work that I forget to clean. You don't mind, right? I left my key in my mailbox, so you can just go in whenever you are ready to start cleaning. Thanks a lot! I really appreciate it.
You've got to be joking. You're going to ask me? The wife of the man you've been having an affair with. Are you kidding me?
Yeah? Was it too hard for you to understand? Aren't we all in a relationship now? It's not that out of the question. Besides, you're a housewife. You should be used to this kind of work. Chores are no problem for you, right? So you'll clean my room for me, won't you?
Like hell I will. Clean up your own damn mess.
If you have a problem with it, you can talk to Ken. He told me if I had any problems or need help with anything, I should come to you. I was thinking you could help me out with even more things from now on. Well, you can refuse, but Ken wanted me to tell you that if you refuse, then you're not even useful anymore. He'll go ahead and get a divorce.
That moron. He doesn't have a say in this. He can't tell me what to do. He can't do this to me.
Well, that's not my problem. Thanks for cleaning my place. The two of us are off on our trip now. We'll be sure to have fun while you clean my place. Old lady should stay home and quietly do the housework while we young women go and enjoy our lives.
Well, I'm sure you'll be enjoying yourself from now on. In fact, I might as well get it out of the way. But from now on, I'm going to be your boss.
You wish. Have you gone senile, old woman?
Do you not understand simple English? I'm going to be your boss from now on, so I won't be cleaning your room. You can do that yourself. So enjoy your trip while you can, you adulterous leech. As soon as you come back, you'll be calling this old woman ma'am.
Hold on. You're not my boss. Don't tell me what to do. First of all, how could you be my boss? You haven't worked in years. You're just a housewife. Second of all, even if you could get a job at my company, there's no way you'd be able to get a job as the department head. You must be out of your mind.
I guess I'm not the only one Ken has been keeping things from. Why don't you ask him? Before he and I got married, we worked together at the same company. In other words, I used to work at your company before the marriage.
So what if you worked at the same company? You still haven't worked in years.
Well, since you so graciously let me know about your affair with my soon-to-be ex-husband, there's no way I'd ever let our relationship continue. I went ahead and talked with my old boss about returning to work. It was a long shot, but I had nothing to lose. After I told them about my situation with Ken, they pulled a few strings and hired me. Can you believe it? If you two haven't put two and two together yet, my old boss is the vice president of the company now. They were so incredibly kind. Even though they're the vice president now, they treated me as an old friend. Can you believe it?
How come I never heard about any of this? You and Ken were in the same position and you're friends with the vice president? What the hell?
From the moment I was hired until the day I resigned, they were like my mentor. They didn't want me to quit at the time because I showed so much promise, but even then they respected my decision. I even mentioned you while we were talking. They were happy to have me back in the company. They were thoughtful enough to place me on a team with you since I've become acquainted with you over the last month. Now do you get it? They rehired me in my old position and now you work under me.
I don't believe you.
Believe it or not, you'll see when you get back from your trip. Ken will no longer be your boss, but instead you'll have me. Try to be professional. I don't like to mix business with pleasure. If you continue to play your games, well, you never know what might happen. You might even need to clear your desk out all of a sudden. I am your boss after all. So you better know your place and fall in line quickly or else.
I won't believe it until I hear it with my own two ears. Don't go making up stories to try and ruin my vacation.
Believe whatever you want. But the fact of the matter is, I'll be your boss from now on. I do have to be going now. I have a lot to catch up on. Have fun cleaning your own mess up.
Hey, what's this I hear about your going back to work? How did you talk with the vice president and get hired? I'm your husband. You should consult me before you make this kind of decision. I won't forgive you for working again. You're supposed to be a housewife and take care of my house. You should have stayed at home and just taken care of me. You would have been fine. You'll regret this.
Is that a problem? I thought you liked women who worked. I'm trying to fit your preferences. Isn't that what a good wife should do? You should be happy. Your one and only wife is joining the workforce. Isn't that the type of woman you like? A hard-working woman?
That's not what I meant. I was talking about Alicia, not you. If you go back to work, who's going to take care of me?
Isn't that obvious? You're a grown man. You should be able to take care of yourself. You can wipe your own butt from now on. I'm done.
What's up with you all of a sudden? Where did this come from?
You have the nerve to ask me. I told you, I won't take this quietly. I bit my tongue this whole month to get ready for what would come after our divorce. I can't believe you thought that I'd agree to such a ridiculous situation. I would never, and I mean never, be married to someone who'd openly have an affair. I planned from day one to get a divorce as soon as I got my career back.
Wait, what do you mean you want a divorce?
You're a fool to believe anyone would want to stay married to an unfaithful husband. And by the way, the vice president knows all about your little trysts. They were more than happy to rehire me on the spot. I heard everything from them. I couldn't believe it. You haven't been doing very well at work, have you? I guess you really are good at hiding things.
Ha! I'm doing just fine. What do you know?
Oh, I know everything. I heard about it in great detail when I was there. You messed up big time with a recent client, didn't you? Don't tell me you didn't know you cost the company $10 million. There's no way they didn't tell you about it. That's not an amount to be laughing at. The company is scrabbling to cover the deficit you caused. It's crazy over there. Is that why you're running away on your little trip? Am I wrong? Instead of trying to fix it, you're running away from your responsibility. Not only that, but an entire week of vacation. With your mistress, too. Unbelievable. Did you know that everyone is calling you the Usain Bolt of running away from your problems?
How come I haven't heard about any of this? Where did all this gossip come from?
I guess you were so busy messing around that you couldn't even notice the obvious glares you've been getting. There's more where that came from. You always push your responsibilities onto other people in the department and act like you were the one who did all the work. There's no fooling anyone. They all know the truth. You can't handle any of the work they give you, and your decision-making is a joke.
I'm doing a great job. Sure, I did make a mistake with the last client and caused some real damage to our profits, but it's not like I'm trying to brush off my responsibility. This trip was to clear my head and get into a new headspace so I can fix everything when I get back.
Well, if that's the case, you don't have to worry about it anymore. While you are out on your little trip, I'll be earning back that $10 million you lost.
You're joking, right? It's only your first day. There's no way.
Have you forgotten? I've been working on this for over a month now. It was part of the deal for letting me back into the company. Well, it was only to start working on finding a new client, but it's actually going well. At this rate, I'll bag the client for the department in no time. With the profits from this client, that $10 million loss will seem like nothing.
You can't be serious.
You should have seen the look on the vice president's face. They were over the moon. Now, even if they fire you, they don't have to worry about what'll happen to their losses. I was a little nervous coming back to work after all this time, but looks like I got off on the right foot. I couldn't ask for a better start to my new life without you.
Hey, wait a second. What do you mean, even if they fire me? I haven't heard anything about this from the company. They can't fire me. They must have been joking.
It would be nice if it was just a joke, but who knows? It wasn't a simple mistake they can overlook. There needs to be some consequences for your failure, Ken. Well, whatever happens to you from now on is none of my concern. I just wanted to let you know as a courtesy now that we're co-workers.
I already told them as soon as I get back, I'll work my butt off to get our profits back.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot to tell you that I'll be taking over your position. I guess since you're on vacation, they couldn't notify you. But since I'm actually here at work, they let me know before you.
That's my job you're talking about. That position belongs to me. Everything before the mistake was all thanks to me. They never give you the position. You just got back after how many years of not working?
You really did have your head in the sand. I didn't tell you this, but I spoke with the company before we got married and I quit. They wanted me to take up the post, but since we were getting married, I turned down the offer.
They offered you the job before me?
They were practically clinging to me as I quit, but they were very understanding. But they did say that if I ever decided to come back to work, they'd gladly give the position to me. You didn't think I chose to be a housewife without considering my future, did you? I made sure I had options. You never know what might happen.
You did that behind my back.
I thought it'd be impossible to take them up on the offer after all this time, but it worked out in the end. I jokingly asked if they remembered the offer they made me when I left, and what do you know? They did. They always say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
All you had to do was ask. So, you're saying I was just the backup since you didn't take the job? No, I don't believe it. I should have had that position by my own merit.
I might have been the first choice, but you had good results of your own at the time. You got your promotion because they thought you earned it. However, you let that sour quickly. You might have been promoted, but you never had any accomplishments of note since then. Not to mention losing one of the company's biggest clients. Everyone on the team and the higher-ups don't view you too kindly anymore. The vice president regrets letting me go. He said he never should have promoted you in the first place.
That's not. I worked hard at the job.
Working hard doesn't always produce results. At least I'm grateful to you. That's something. Thanks to all of your poor work. Anything I do seems like an achievement. Thanks for everything, Ken. Really, thanks to the crappy job you've done up until now, everyone is welcoming me with open arms.
I didn't work all these years for that kind of thanks.
You're right. Good job working all those years. You earned your vacation. You worked all those long nights and hard hours so you could meet up with that skank of yours.
Don't belittle me.
I checked. I looked at all the work you've been doing recently, so don't even think about lying. You've been trying to hide it, but you haven't done a single thing recently. All you've been doing is fooling around. What hard work were you doing?
This and that are two separate things.
It doesn't matter anyways. Enjoy your little tryst. While you're all fooling around, I'll be going through the records and collecting evidence of your work. What did you do? Why do I have to work from home right after coming back from vacation? That's my bad. Sorry about that, Alicia. You know, after showing the company the proof of Ken and your affair, they just decided on their own. Being stuck at home for work must be rough. However, you did break the rules. You two were skipping out on work, secretly going out to meet each other. Outside of your affair with Ken, skipping out on work was just too much for them to overlook. They had to dole out some discipline. You're just being petty. Just because Ken wants to be with me instead of an old hag like you. Everything you've done since you started working again is just your revenge against us. Don't try to kid yourself. You're an awful person and an awful wife. That's not true. I don't hold any grudge against either of you. I'm simply trying to pay back the company after all that they've done for me. I hadn't been in the workforce for a few years, yet they went so far as to rehire me as the head of the department. I was just doing my part. Your disciplinary action was just a consequence of that. Nothing more. No hard feelings, right? Yeah, right! You know as well as I do you would have never gone back to work if it wasn't for our affair. I told you. HR was simply doing their job. It's not my fault that you two left such a messy trail. All the evidence was popping out like daisies. Ken really outdid himself. He spent all his attention on you rather than his work. It's not like you've been dismissed. You just have to work from home for a while. HR and the accounting department are both going over every single detail of your recent actions at the company.
Wait, even the accounting department?
Why are they involved? You can stop playing coy. I am your boss now, after all. It's my job to look into my team if they're causing trouble for the company. I take pride in knowing about my team, even their salaries and their write-offs. For some reason that we couldn't explain, you seem to have a little too many for the average employee. They figured something fishy was going on around here.
That was all for company business. I wasn't doing anything illegal.
Well, it seems they also paid your place a visit while you were gone. They couldn't believe how filthy you were. Not to mention you kept some of the company's confidential files at home. We have rules you have to follow, you know. You can't just take company property without permission and work from home. You might face even more disciplinary actions depending on the rest of their investigation. I think of a backup plan if I were you.
You were in my room? That's breaking and entering. That's illegal. How'd you even get in there in the first place?
What do you mean? You told me I can go in whenever I please. You even so graciously left the key for me, didn't you?
That was so you could clean my apartment, not snoop around in it. That's my personal space.
That's exactly what I was doing. Cleaning. I was cleaning out the company's trash. We can't have employees like you dragging down the company.
Hey, wait a minute. You won't get away with this.
That's my line. Anyways, have fun being locked up at home. Once the investigations have finished, I'll notify you of any legal dispositions that the company will serve you. Take care now. After investigations concluded and the dust settled, both Alicia and Ken received disciplinary dismissals. It was the perfect time for me to serve Ken the divorce papers. He quietly accepted the divorce and everything ended without a hitch. Everyone at the company knew I was married to him. They fully have my back. But even the new employees couldn't believe I would throw away my career for a husband like that. Everything turned out great for me in the end, so I can't complain. Now that I'm back, I can really show my skills. It's way more enjoyable than doing all the housework without any appreciation. Back to Ken and Alicia. After the divorce, Ken was forced to use up all of his savings to pay for alimony. With both of them out of a job, they were forced to file for bankruptcy soon after. As usual, Ken tried to run away from his mistakes and tried to move back to his parents' place. With all the rumors about him flying around the town, he's been forced to hide in shame. Serves him right. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hello, Sandra. We need to have a little talk. It appears as if you are out on another one of your business trips. I really can't believe it. You know, you and Freddie have almost been married for 12 years now. And yet you still refuse to spend any time at home. What is wrong with you? Do you think that's appropriate behavior for a wife? Oh, hello, Marie. I see we're diving straight back into this conversation. Again. For the 100th time. I thought we had talked about how I really wish you wouldn't message me while I was at work. I know it's lunchtime, but I really would rather just talk in person and use my lunch break to relax instead. If I am supposed to be at your beck and call every time you want to bring up another issue with me, then I really won't be able to rest, and that will end up affecting my work. I mean, we all live in the same house, so I really don't understand why you refuse to listen to me when I ask you to save these kinds of conversations until I am back home. Anyways, this afternoon is going to be very busy for me here, so I really want to take this time to rest my eyes and prepare for it. Please respect my wishes. Oh, here we go again with the awful job excuse again. How many times have I told you that a married woman shouldn't be working? It's not like you even make that much money anyways. And it's not like you are even that important there anyways. I'm sure that business would just carry on as usual and nobody would miss you if you were gone. Besides, you have more important things you should be doing. If it weren't for your lousy job, then I would finally have a grandson by now. You need to quit your job and focus on what really matters. You're already in your 30s, you know. You are no spring chicken. Hurry up and give me my grandkids. You should be making babies, not worrying about work right now.
Ah, such inspiring words from my loving mother-in-law.
I understand what you are saying, but have you considered how difficult things would get for all of us if I quit my job? Fred and I really aren't in a good position financially to have a kid right now. I can't just walk away from work knowing that everything is going to be fine. What are you even talking about right now? Have you completely forgotten that there are two of you? Fred's salary should be more than enough for all of us to live on comfortably. You just need to stop making excuses. Marie, I have lost count of how many times we have had this exact conversation. I mean, you can scroll up and literally know what I am about to say. But yes, I am saying that if we went down to one income, things would get very, very difficult. Ugh, you really do have some nerve, you know that. You have no idea what you are talking about. As usual. Of course we would be fine. I really do not see what Fred sees in a useless girl like you. What is even the point of his being married to you if you won't even give your mother-in-law grandkids when she asks for them? I have literally shown you our pay stubs and walked you through the house budget and you just refuse to believe me. The numbers barely work as it is, and certainly would not if that number went down to just one of our incomes. Why won't you accept what I am telling you? Excuse me. Who do you think you are, talking to me like that? I am your mother-in-law. You better show me a little more respect, young lady. Okay, well, my lunch break is almost over, so I'm going to have to leave things there. We can talk when I get back home. Okay? Thanks. Bye.
Sandra, what did you do to my mom? She is upset about some horrible things she says that you said to her. Care to explain?
What? Like what? I didn't say anything horrible to her.
You told her that you didn't want her to bother you on your lunch breaks and told her to quit messaging you. Did you really say something so mean? After everything that my mom does for us, how could you do something so cruel? I really can't believe you right now. Don't you forget that she is part of your family now as well. You need to take her interests more into account and show her some respect.
Oh my goodness. How did I know this was going to happen? Is this really what I get just for trying to tell her how I honestly felt? I can't say anything in this house without getting ganged up on.
What are you talking about now?
I am talking about how anytime I say anything remotely negative to your mother, she runs to you and tells you a twisted version of events that makes me look like some kind of horrible monster.
Okay, Sandra. Let's just calm down a bit before you say something you will really regret. Are you trying to imply that my mom is the bad guy here? I recommend you choose your next words very, very carefully.
You know what? I don't even care anymore. I cannot believe that I have been putting up with this ridiculous nonsense for 12 whole years now.
Nonsense? You're the one talking nonsense. You're not even making sense right now. Just say what you want to say. Nobody wants to hear you rant.
What am I talking about? What nonsense am I talking about? I am talking about this nonsense, Fred. Look, I'm still on my business trip, okay? And I have to double-check some really important documents for tomorrow. I'm going now. Goodbye.
Oh, no you don't. We're not done here. Don't you ignore me.
Sandra, you're out on another one of your business trips, I see. You must be quite busy. Yes, I am on another trip. And yes, I am very, very busy. What is it? And I hear that you are going to be coming back the day after tomorrow. Correct. Yes, that is right. I am going to be going back home the day after tomorrow. And tell me, just what are the chances that you would be able to make any changes to your current schedule? Well, I will not be able to give any kind of definitive answer until I have arrived and seen what the work here is going to be like. Why do you ask? Did something happen that I should know about? No, of course not. Nothing has happened here. I'm just checking, is all. Okay then. Yes, I am planning to come back tomorrow. Okay then. Bye-bye. Fred, what is going on? Is everything okay? Did something happen?
Huh? What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about? I just got back home. Why is the house completely empty except for my things? I mean, the furniture and even the dishware is all gone. Oh, and now I see the divorce papers on the floor in the living room. What happened? What is all this?
So you finally came back to see our work. What do you think? As for the papers, well, that should be pretty obvious, right? I have been thinking that maybe we should get a divorce. I talked about it with my mom, and she suggested that we try moving out and living separately as a kind of test run, you see?
So then, all of this, the house, the papers, you're telling me that this was all supposed to be some kind of clever plan? You do know that today is our 12th anniversary, don't you? That is the whole reason I made sure to come home by today.
Come on now, Sandra. You know I would never forget that special day. That is exactly why I thought it would be hilarious if you saw those papers and I told you about my plans today.
That really is not an explanation, Fred. You owe me at least that much. Also, you are telling me that this whole plan about living away from each other before we get divorced was all okay with your mom, too?
Well, yeah. She was practically already packed as soon as I even mentioned it.
Is that so? I see. But you do know that it takes a little bit more than just leaving the papers for your spouse to find in order to finalize the divorce, don't you?
What are you talking about now? You mean filing the papers with the city and stuff like that? I really wasn't in any huge rush and wanted you to see them before all that happened. Besides, if you look closely, you will see that I have already signed and initialed in all the spots I was supposed to. All that is left is for you to do the same and send it off. Then it will all be over. Signing those papers was my final act for you as your husband. But now it's your turn. So how about checking yourself before you tell other people what they do and do not have to do? Huh?
Okay then. Fine. But I just have one question for you, Fred.
And just what might that be?
If we get divorced, then how are you and your mom supposed to support yourselves?
Huh? What are you talking about now?
I am talking about your mom. She doesn't even work. She brings in no money. Do you really think that you two will be able to live comfortably on your salary alone? We've done the math. We already know that it would not work. Honestly, Fred, what were you two thinking doing something as stupid as this?
Please, you really think that the two of us hadn't figured that out already? Mom and I are going to live off of the inheritance my dad left the two of us after he passed away. Don't you see? We don't need you anymore. We're finally free.
I see. Well, okay then. If that is really how you feel about the whole situation. So, you really do not mind if I go ahead and sign and send these papers off then?
You could not do it fast enough for me. Please just send them already.
Okay, I understand. Sandra, I am assuming that you got home not that long ago and saw the present that Fred left for you. You are finished now. Now hurry up and sign those papers. You two cannot get divorced fast enough for me. Ah, look who it is this time. Hello there, Marie. This time? What are you talking about? Fred messaged me earlier and told me all about the divorce and explained to me why he moved out.
Oh, really? Did he now? I suppose that means that I really just have one thing to say to you in that case. And that is that in order to finally get a grandson, we had to make sure you were out of the picture. We'll have better luck trying with a new wife for Fred.
Fred already has plans to remarry?
Oh, I take it that he didn't tell you then. Lana is pregnant with Fred's child. The two of them plan on getting married before the baby arrives, of course. So hurry up and sign those papers.
Ah, is that what happened? Then I suppose that only leaves me with one question for you, in that case.
Oh, really? Fine. Ask your silly little question.
In that case, what are you all going to do about your livelihoods?
What? What are you talking about?
Well, if Fred and I get a divorce, then that means that the two of you will not have access to my money anymore. As for this Lana girl, I have no idea whether or not she has a job and is working or not.
No, she left her job like I asked her to when she became pregnant. Just like a good wife should.
I see. Well, in that case, I guess that means that Fred will have to support the three of you. Excuse me, soon to be 4 of you, and on his single salary, doesn't it?
Yes, your math skills are quite impeccable, Sandra.
Thank you. But are you really sure about that? That is really okay with you?
Of course it is okay with me. It is okay with all of us. Besides, Fred makes at least twice as much as you do. As much as you like to pretend that it was even. So yes, to answer your questions, it will be fine and there will be no problems. And we'll all be better off without you.
Excuse me? What did you just say? You think Fred makes how much money? I'm afraid that you are in for a real shock.
What stupid nonsense are you sputtering about now? You showed me the pay stubs. I already know that you only bring in about $3,000 a month with your job. But Fred tells me that he makes about double what you make. So that means he earns about $6,000.
Marie, I actually love to be the one to tell you this, but you have it backwards.
What? What do you mean I have it backwards?
I mean that I am the one that makes twice as much as Fred does.
Wait. No. What are you talking about?
Here, I will try and explain nice and simple so that even you can understand. Though you do have one thing right. My income is about $3,000 a month, which, if you do the math, means that Fred only makes half of that. Are you still following? He only makes about $1,500 a month.
No, that can't be right. You do not know what you're talking about.
Do you mean to tell me that after all this time living together in the same house that you never once picked up on that fact? You never noticed how often Fred was changing his job? It never struck you as odd? I think in the 12 years that we have been married, I have seen that man go through about 7 jobs.
He has had 7 jobs?
You mean you really never knew about that? I think even at the longest, he could only ever hold one for about 3 years. But usually he was changing every 1 or 2 years.
Because he was upgrading, right?
Oh, no. He kept getting fired. For the most part, you two have been living off of my earnings.
But I never… How did I… Why is this the first time that you are telling me all of this?
Well, Fred did tell me several times that he wanted to tell you himself when he was ready. And so I just trusted that he would and never broached the topic.
But wait a minute. That means… If all that is true, then what the heck was Fred thinking when he said he wanted to divorce you? Did he really just lose all sense of logic just because he and Lana got together?
Well, according to Fred himself, he told me that you all were planning to live off the inheritance that his father left you all. The way he talked made it sound like it was some huge amount of money.
What are you talking about? He wanted to live off of what Gerald left us. He never once mentioned anything like that to me.
Yeah, I figured he was coming up with that on his own. After all, if I recall correctly, Gerald was quite the frivolous spender, wasn't he? Anyways, I think it would be in your interest to put the phone down and have a little chat with your son about what is really going to happen to your lives. I think the two of you had a lot of faith in the other without ever actually confirming to see if it was well placed. Now's the time to do that. Anyways, it sounds like you and Fred and maybe even Lana have quite a bit to talk out between yourselves.
Okay, Sandra. I have done a lot of really hard thinking, and I have finally come to the decision that I am going to give you one more chance.
What? Did you talk with your mom about what her and I were messaging about?
We did. We sat down, discussed the current situation, and now I am telling you what we decided.
That is okay, actually. I don't really care one way or the other what you all talked about.
Well, I am here to tell you that we changed our mind and you actually cannot divorce me. The deal is off the table. Not only that, we decided that it would be best if we handled the home expenses and that you will hand over your paycheck to my mom when you get it. She and I will handle everything, and you might be able to get an allowance if you prove yourself responsible. For now, we are going to start you off at $100 a month, which we both agreed was much more than what you deserved. If you accept these terms, then I will not divorce you and the two of us will move back into the house with you.
Is that how you think this is going to go down?
Yes. Now, if you want to stay a member of this family, you will accept your role as our personal ATM and not complain once about it. Do you understand me?
Well, I'm surprised to hear you put it so blatantly. I think I'll pass, though. I am going to be living in Germany now.
Wait. You're living where now? What are you doing in Germany?
Well, not that long ago, my work was discussing an opening role for an overseas position. At first, I was really worried about applying for a role like that and being sent to another country. But once you and your mom vanished from the house and were talking about divorcing me, it made the decision pretty easy to make in my mind.
What are you talking about? Are you being serious right now?
I am. And since we are already divorced, I threw my name into the running and was selected. It has been official for some time now.
Wait. Hold on a minute now.
Now that I am a free woman, I asked my job if it was okay if I applied for permanent residency when I was there, and they said that they had no problem with me doing that. So now when I do come back here, it will only be for short trips to visit my family and friends.
So then, that means that you really signed the divorce papers.
That is correct! I signed them and made sure to drop them off in the mail on my way to work.
No! You are lying. That can't be true. I do not believe it. Because even though I said that my mom and I were going to be living off of all the money that my dad left to us in his will when he died, well, how are my mom and I supposed to go on living now? There is no money left.
Right. That reminds me. I am also going to be claiming alimony from you for your affair.
Wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about now?
Oh, yes. My mistake. I should have said something earlier. I know that you were really intent to make sure that I never found out about you two, but I have already collected all the evidence I need to prove my case in court. And besides, you should know that it was actually your mom who was the one who told me that you were cheating on me with some girl named Lana.
Excuse me? My mom did what now? When was this?
I'll tell you what I told her. From how close you and your mom are, you two really needed to do a better job coordinating what the two of you were saying to me. I mean, really, it was quite sad how you two undid everything for yourselves. Anyways, I am going to be handing everything over to my lawyer, who is going to handle all the nitty-gritty for me. Anyways, since we're divorced and I no longer have any connection to you, goodbye.
You can't do this! Sandra, come back. We still have things we need to talk about.
Excuse me, Sandra. Answer me right now. We just got this document that you sent to our place. How did you know our address? Explain yourself right now. You all are living in your ex-husband's brother's property, right? I'm pretty sure he used to rent that house out to tenants, isn't that right? What? But how did you know? Well, I know because I got a message the other day from Fred's brother saying that you guys are squatting on the property and he never told you that you could live there. As if it had anything to do with me. What? He really sent you a message saying all of that? He did, actually. But we talked and I took some time out of my day to explain to him what had happened, even though I have nothing to do with you all now. But he convinced me to help him get you out, so I suppose we are still in each other's lives until then. Wait, what do you mean, get us out? You're not being serious about doing something like that to us, right? Do you have any grasp about the situation you're in? Did you read the letter that was sent to the property you're squatting in? I will try and explain it to you as simply as possible. I know these things can confuse you with how many questions you ask. That paper contains the amount that Fred owes me still from the divorce. It is a formal invoice, so you have to pay every cent. That's more or less what it says. I hope that summed it up pretty well for you. But feel free to read through all the legalese and figure it out for yourself. What? Fred needs to pay you? For what? I thought that you might be a little confused. Okay, I will explain to you a bit further then. My husband cheated on me while we were married, which led to divorce. According to the law, he owes me some money as part of the divorce, increased because of the cheating. Surely you understand how this stuff works, Marie. Even back in your day, it worked the same way. Lana has already apologized to me for her part in everything. Wait, she did what? We talked and she said she was only with Fred because she thought he was rich from his inheritance. She even lied about being pregnant. But once it came out that there was no money, she apologized to me and took off. She lied about being pregnant. What about my grandson? I don't think you have one. But, Sandra, I want you to get back together with Fred. I would rather die. Besides, I'm moving to Germany. Germany? I take it Fred didn't mention that to you either. But you can't. I'm tired of explaining this. Go ask your son. Sandra, you can't! Goodbye. After that, I started getting ready to move. I told my parents and they said they wanted to come too and sold their house. And because my company was making the living arrangements, they found a place suitable for all of us to live in. Later, my now ex-husband and his mother went to my old house to try to talk to me in person. Apparently, they needed to take out several loans just to live and came demanding I give them their money back. Of course, I was already gone, so there was no one there to listen to their sob story. But after they broke in to find me, the police showed up and arrested them. The real estate company who bought the property charged them for the damages they caused. Now the two of them have been cut off from their family and live a difficult life in a tiny apartment trying to pay off their debts. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.